I'm so sorry. I've done two very serious videos in a row. I promise it will be fun soon. And as an apology, I offer this. Hopefully that's good enough of an apology. I mean, look. Hello my people, hi. I'm sorry if I'm super low energy or if I just seem really sad in this video. It's not that, it's literally just the fact that I'm sick today. So just so you're not overanalyzing anything. Obviously it is a more serious video, but yeah. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, first off, I don't know what you're doing with your life. You know, normally I don't agree with peer pressure.
But literally, what are you doing? You better do that right this second.
Anyway. I basically posted I am no longer going to be creating content around my eating disorder, and I just wanted to talk about why, because I've kind of been thinking about this for a long time. There was one event that kind of triggered all of that. It was kind of like a last straw moment, but it's just been something I've been thinking about for a long time. The first time I ever even talked about my eating disorder ever was on YouTube. I thought it was only fair to come back here and make a video in the same style, just me talking to a camera. When I posted my statement on my other account, a lot of people were really heartbroken that I was gonna stop posting this type of content, because obviously this content does mean a lot to a lot of people. Because of that, I just want to explain why I'm making this decision, because I think it is a big decision. I know a lot of people have followed me for that content exclusively, so hopefully you choose to stay. I promise I can offer other things. My cats have an Instagram. Can I offer that up for you? If you don't follow me, you're like, why does this girl have like 10 Instagrams? Sorry if you're new, you're very confused. Also, what a weird first video to watch from me. I'm so sorry for that. I promise it's not normally this serious. First off, I'm probably gonna call this video something like why I'm leaving the eating disorder community, but I never really felt like a part of a community. I didn't realize there was even a community because it's such a private illness, I guess. So I never really even assumed there would be a community around that. Sorry, I'm very sick. It's not about me leaving the community, it's about changing my content, and basically I'm going to stop posting for the most part about my eating disorder. So I've listed everything out on my phone because I'm really bad at keeping my brain organized. This is still a very authentic video for me. It's more of a matter of just like bullet pointing like a general topic, just so my brain doesn't go to like me talking about Polly Pockets, which has happened a lot, or something, I don't know. Okay, so the first thing I wrote down, this is kind of like the main reason. Before this thing happened to me that kind of set me on edge, the biggest thing is just the fact that I've been talking about this for 4 years, and at this point I feel so separated from my eating disorder, which is a really good thing. That's what everyone wants to feel, you know? When I talk about it online, I almost feel disconnected from at this point. Obviously, you're gonna struggle with that for the rest of your life. And that is not something that you just completely overcome and then never think about again. You know, like it's still something I still struggle with thoughts, absolutely, but it is not a big part of my life like it once was. It used to hold so much space in my life. It used to stop me from doing so many things that now I can do and now I want to do. I think allowing it to still hold space on my channel is just also allowing it to hold space in my life still. You know, now that I have the energy and the time, and I don't obsess over everything and let my whole life be dictated by food in the same way, you know, now I can finally do the things that motivated me to recover in the first place. I think, you know, what better representation of recovery than just living my life and just being a person that's recovered and not even having to talk about it all the time. I think when a lot of people get diagnoses in their life, if it's a mental illness, if it's a physical, chronic illness, when these things take up a big portion of your life, it's easy to almost feel like it is you know, like this mental health diagnosis is me. I put so much of my personality almost into this illness, and I feel like I've still continued to do that, and it's just not me anymore. Like, it's not something I even talk about a lot in my personal life. So when I talk about it a lot online, it's almost like, okay, I have to go back in this headset, or I have to, oh my god. headset. My brain's not working today. I have to go back into this mindset and think about this thing that I went through 4 years ago and what point I was at. Because of posting about my eating disorder, I get a lot of comments about it now, which is no one's fault at all. Of course, like, people are gonna comment and ask questions about something that I talk about currently. But one thing I've noticed is I'm not a licensed professional, and two, being someone that's struggled with an eating disorder, sometimes it can be detrimental to get some of these questions. A lot of us aren't trained professionals and we don't know how to speak to someone with an eating disorder correctly sometimes. So, you know, sometimes I get comments that are really hard for me to read and think about, and every time I want to share my eating disorder or talk about it, I have to get back into a mindset that wasn't good for me, and I want to move on and not have to think about that mindset. I want to reflect. Of course, I'm never going to pretend that didn't happen. I don't think I can at this point. It doesn't take away from the fact that I'm very proud of myself, and I still 100% am pro recovery and like will shout it from my rooftops if I have to. I just don't want it to hold so much space in my life anymore. I want to be able to find out who Jessie is without her illness. So I hope you understand. Sorry, I'm like losing my voice a lot today. Talking about mental health puts me into a vulnerable position. Woo! So fun, so exciting. My channel has always just been me talking about my life and what's prevalent in my life. I've talked about mental health before I even specifically talked about my eating disorder for years, so I just felt like it was, as I was recovering from that, a natural thing to bring up on my page. But I posted about it way too soon. I was not ready at all, and it was very detrimental to me. This is something I've struggled with since I was like 17, because I started talking about even like having anxiety at 17, and that basically is like posting a list of your insecurities on the internet for people to attack, and that is not fun. I get a lot of very mean comments. I get a lot of, you looked better before, you look terrible, I miss the way you looked before. I get a lot of people with eating disorders that are like, I hate the way your face looks now. It's been so great to help so many people with my eating disorder, but in doing so and talking about that online, I have given people a step-by-step manual on how to say the thing that is going to hurt me the most. Every time I post about having an eating disorder, that is one more time that someone can tell me I looked better when I was sick. And I'm gonna get those comments even if I stop talking about it, and I'm 100% aware of that. But I do think if I give those comments less attention and just give even my illness less attention online, it will hopefully stop those comments from being sent to me, because it's just not ideal. It's not fun to be told that you looked better before. My situation's not normal. A lot of people get to recover from illnesses in rehabilitation centers or offline, or they'll take a break, and I made the decision, I take full accountability, but you know, I made the decision to basically recover in real time online. That means someone that recovers that isn't online, you know, might hear some comments from friends in person that hurt them, you know, it happens to everyone. I get hundreds of comments at once that hurt my feelings, and that's just not normal. I feel like since I was literally a minor, the first thing that people attack me for online, it's always been my mental health. I've always been called online crazy, attention seeking, these just buzzwords. It's hard because, you know, sharing your own experiences, that's what really allows people to feel safe during the conversation. But at the same time, I've given so much of my mental health story online. There is literally a photo on my Instagram from me being put in a mental hospital after trying to do something, and like, I just think it's too much. I feel like I just have to take a step back and take care of myself, and I haven't done it for years. Just want to finally be able to process things offline without people reacting in real time, because it's kind of hard to know who you are. You know, you might be feeling good about where your mental health is going, and someone online just calls you crazy. Okay, number 3. This is like the kind of thing that basically was my last straw, and it made me post these very dramatic Instagram stories. I was already not having a very good day. Like, sorry, I'm just gonna keep coughing in this video, I guess. I posted a trigger warning on a photo of myself, and it was a before and after, where I was basically saying, this is how I look now, and I love myself, and this is really similar to a photo shoot I did. And the only reason I even did that shoot was because I posted a separate photo of myself in this pink one piece. And a lot of people were like, I remember that one photo of you when you were wearing a pink one piece where you were super underweight and I was really worried about you, and like, I love seeing how you look now, like it reminds me of how far you've come. It was a very pure intention from my part. I included a trigger warning. I know underweight photos of me can be a lot, they can be scary to look at, they can be triggering for people with eating disorders, so I would just hope trigger warning eating disorders would be enough. And I guess it wasn't enough for people. There were like some people just telling me that I should have known that people with eating disorders would still skip the trigger warning, or that I should know that before and after photos aren't accepted in the community. Here's the thing, I'm not a trained professional, and like I'm not even necessarily like involved in the eating disorder community, because just talking about my experience is a lot to take in. So I just was doing what I thought was right. I put a trigger warning. I assumed that would be enough. I wasn't meaning to cause anyone harm, and people saying I knew that people would skip the trigger warning and seek out that content, it's so unfair to me to assume that I would want people to have eating disorders. Like if my head was in that mindset, wouldn't I be embarrassed about the way I look now that I've gained weight? Wouldn't I not be showing it off? Wouldn't I be like, damn, I looked way better before? Like that's how my brain would work if I still had an eating disorder. I wouldn't The hardest thing for me was the accusation that I want to give people eating disorders. From all my years of posting about my eating disorder, if that is what you have collected, if that is what you have gotten from my content, as someone that suffered from an eating disorder, it's like stabbing me in the back. Like what a terrible thing to say to someone. Someone that is secretly in private hurt themselves for years and lost years of their life to this illness. You were saying I would want that for other people. That is a crazy thing to throw at me. If people are skipping my trigger warnings, if I posted before and after and you didn't like that, even though there was a trigger warning, I'm not even here to argue about what's wrong or what's not. You're allowed to have your own thoughts on that. I had good intentions, and I just don't even want my intentions on something so complex and sensitive for me to just be ever mentioned again. Even if you didn't go that far, just to not assume, hey, maybe she just didn't know not to post that. To just accusing me of doing that very purposefully was hurtful enough. To be so honest, like I just am so exhausted with that. That is not a way to talk to me. I think we need to just hold more empathy for people. Like, be so honest right now with yourself. Do you think that would be my intention? Do you think I would struggle with that for years? Just to want to give it to other people? It also doesn't even make sense with the eating disorder mindset, because it's extremely competitive. Wouldn't I not want other people? I don't know. I cried a lot. I got some absolutely disgusting comments that made me want to quit everything. I even got disgusting comments when I finally said I'm gonna stop posting eating disorder comments. Like people basically like cheering and being excited. I just don't even think I can express how much that hurts. I don't. It's just not fair to me at all. I put a trigger warning. If you didn't think that was enough, that's okay. But can't we just assume that people are learning and trying to do their best and have good intentions before we accuse someone of something so insane? Sometimes it makes me kind of regret ever posting about it at all. Part of me kind of wishes I never ever did. Because that accusation ruined me. It's so hard because people with eating disorders have used me as something called fatspo. They basically use photos of me recovered to convince themselves not to recover. I went through that and I still kept posting eating disorder recovery related content. I've been absolutely bullied online for coming forward about this part of myself. I've just had nothing but good intentions. Even one hate comment, you know, just hurts a lot. Anyways, I posted some very dramatic stories. I'm fine. I am gonna be changing the username on the Health is Mental and Physical page, which by the way was never originally Health is Mental and Physical. It was actually Jessie Trash, which I've missed that landfill so much. I miss posting dumb stuff. So that account, I will be changing the username, which I have to like contact Instagram to do that, I found out. I was so mad in that moment. I would have done it if I could have, but I can't. I guess there's a process for it, so yeah. And this leads us into our next point. I just want to have fun again online. Why I'm like dying and coughing. I feel like I used to just have a lot of fun online and not take myself seriously. I think it is important to have serious moments, of course, and be an advocate for things. The world is really scary right now, and there's a lot of things that people should be talking about. However, I don't owe the world myself being serious all the time. I just want to have fun sometimes and just feel like we're just hanging out. I really feel like it used to be that way. It is that way a lot, but I would love for it to be that way even more. Normally I'd like make a joke right now or something, but I'm so sick. I'm not even present. This is kind of like bouncing off of other things I've said, but I think so much conversation about my body all the time is just not healthy. It's there, it does what it has to do, it's cute, but it's not me. It's not my whole self-worth. It's just there. It's not that serious. I think having so many comments on it all the time, it's detrimental. Crazily enough, I have been told that I am not a good representation of recovery just purely because someone was like, well, you've gained weight in a lot of ways that are very aesthetically pleasing and societally accepted, which is so unfair to me and so belittling to me recovering. I have also been told that me saying sometimes I feel insecure about my body, that was it. Sometimes I still struggle. I got told that I was being fat phobic because my body is societally accepted. People basically are unalived from this mental illness, and you're gonna tell me that it was easy for me because of the way I look now after recovering? First off, did you see the way I looked when I first recovered? I had acne so bad that I was in pain every day. I gained all my weight to my face, so I would put half my hair in my face. I wouldn't show my face through my hair. I cried every night. I had to be put on intense Accutane because I had so much acne that was painful. I cried about the way I looked every single day. It was so hard for me. It took years for my body weight to evenly distribute. It feels like I'm just not believed, you know? I'm honest about my experiences and they're not even believed. And you know what? At this point I'm like, well, just don't even think about my body at all, because it seems like if I look this way now, I definitely didn't struggle with recovery at all. Recovering from a literal mental illness. I already kind of struggle with like, I don't really know what I look like, and now I'm like, I really don't know what I look like because some people are telling me my body is societally accepted, so my recovery must have been easy for me, and then other people are so strongly telling me about how horrible I look now and how much better I look before. So for example, when I post about, oh, like someone said I look better before, that's not okay, people are like, you know that you look great now. I'm like, no, I don't know what I look like. People are telling me contradicting things all the time, and I also had an eating disorder. Like, I probably struggle with understanding what I look like, so I don't know. I don't know if you can tell, I'm just very over being ridiculed for breathing and existing. I'm very over it. So over it. And I just want to separate my content from my body. I'm so sorry if I seem kind of upset in this video. I think my intention's just being thrown around and just taking things so much. With such a personal subject, it just gets to me. I know the internet's a very mean place and I can't change that. I've been online for 9 years. I definitely know that and have accepted it, but I think I can make the internet a little bit of an easier place by just setting this boundary. In the future, I want to focus more on who I am now. I've constantly reinvented myself. It's probably hard to believe, but I even came out like 5 years into my YouTube journey, way past hitting 1 million subscribers. Like, I've done so many things. I've had so many phases online. That's how I've been online for 9 years. I look forward to changing things and not focusing so much on who I used to be. because it's just not healthy for me. I've had so much fun with music content because it's a new thing for me. It's another creative medium and it's just kind of more relevant to who I am now. I didn't have the energy to learn guitar like I can now. I took years off from actually learning because I was really sick. I had a mental illness. So now I would love to just be able to share that. Like playing guitar is a huge part of who I am and share these different parts of myself that I didn't get to before. I feel really sick right now, so I'm gonna go, but I hope you all aren't mad at me for this. I hope this explains things. I love you all and appreciate you all so much. Thank you for being here for this journey. You know, every once in a blue moon, maybe I'll decide to post something because it is a part of my life, but I think I just, for now at least, need to take a step back. I think I'm gonna take like 6 months of just not talking about it at all. If anything, it'll be casually mentioned, but like not making content directly, just all about that. Yeah, but I'm gonna feature my people on the screen as well as their posts. Thank you so much. I appreciate you and I look forward to the future. Okay, bye.